What? Child protective services? For me? My cousin said, put your hands on me like you put your hands on my cousin. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Me and him got into over a remote, y'all. Why? Because it's my TV. I watch what I want to watch. You don't like it? Get out.
Every second, every minute, man, I swear that she can get it. Saying if you a bad bitch, put your hands up high. Hands up high. Hands up high. Tell them dim the lights down right now. Put me in the mood. I'm talking about dark perfume. Go, go.
I recognize your fragrance. Hold up, you ain't never gotta.
Hi, welcome and welcome back to my channel, Beautiful Crimson. So today, you guys, I did a get ready with me video and a story time for this look. I switched it up a little bit. You know, I normally tell fun stories, you know, but this is a little bit more serious. It's part 2 to surviving a 5'3" monster, Dennis the Menace. This is the last part, actually. So stay tuned. I did a get ready with me for this look. It's trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning, especially for domestic violence. I go into a little bit of details about some of the events that happen. Again, I do hope that you at least gain something from this story, especially if you are in a domestic violence situation. You don't know how to get out. You don't know where to go, which way to go, or what to do. Stay tuned. I share some things that I went through and a little bit of tips and some encouragement for you, okay? You know, I do try to sprinkle a little humor. It's maybe a small little funny part of the story in here, but for the most part it's a serious one. Again, I hope it's something that could help someone, especially if you are going through the situation. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Oh, before you watch or before you continue, please give this video a like, subscribe, and make sure you press that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my new videos. And again, stay tuned. Also, comment, share, all of that, please comment and like, okay? All right, so y'all stay tuned and get ready and see this video. As you can see, I've already done my eyebrows. I'm getting ready to go out with a, you know, I'm gonna just go outside and be grown, okay? And I don't even know, again, you know, everything is gonna be in the description box. It's not a tutorial because honey, she don't do makeup. She all right with it, but she's not a makeup artist. So we're gonna do something a little simple. I'm gonna try to do something a little simple because I want to wear a red lip. I don't know what I'm wearing tonight, but I think what I'm wearing is red. So we're gonna do is soften the eyes. I normally don't do anything. That's the reason why these eyeshadow palettes were looking so new. But because I'm doing this with you guys, I'm like, why not? You know, I have a little extra time, so let's do it. All right, so let's start with the story time. All right, y'all. So you remember when I first moved to Dallas, I was with Dacry, right? I was kind of skimmed through our story, like, you know, how we met and all of that. And I definitely skimmed through the most important part, which is actually my very first, well, yeah, I guess you could say my very first experience with the real domestic situation. All right, so here we go. Me and Dacry broke up. We broke up and we playing around, you know, trying to make each other jealous, just doing silly stuff in the house, right? I used to just try to just leave. I ain't even had nowhere to go, but when you used to come home for work, because you remember I wasn't working, and we used to come home for work, I would just leave. Don't even go nowhere. I would go to the grocery store, but just leave to make it think I'm doing something. Child, I did, okay? Remember, I'm going to tell y'all the truth, because ain't no shame, you know what I'm saying? I did some things. I'm not perfect. And that's just what that is. I'm not perfect. So that's just what that is. So so I would leave when he come home to kind of make him jealous, just to be silly, because I don't know, I just felt like I was being real petty. I just felt like being petty. And so I would leave, and then when I come back, he'd be like, you would give all my love away, all of this craziness. I think then he'll probably leave, so I don't know. Well, one day we were arguing so bad. I had left, and I went somewhere. We were arguing real bad, y'all. And so when I came back in the shower, y'all, guess what this boy did? He left a note in the tub. It said, I'm gonna put it up here. I'm gonna put it right here. It said, "So you have moved on," or something like that. Crazy. He said, "So you have moved on." And so I got out. I was like, "Are you serious? Like, why did you put this in the tub? Like, what is it?" Because I knew that's the first place you were gonna go, get in the tub. I was like, "You're crazy." So I get out the tub. We still arguing. We arguing. And next thing I know, he in my face or whatever. He was a phone snatcher. He loved to snatch that phone from me. So he snatched my phone from me, and I was trying to get it back. And remember, I told you I was in the upstairs, downstairs loft. And when I was trying to get my phone back, he threw it downstairs, broke my blinds, everything. I got a picture of that too, I think. A little piece of my blinds that was broken on my door. So that turned into a whole nother tussle, to where this man took me and like body slammed me on the bed. I fell out the bed because remember, he's moving, so he had like some pictures or something, and or like some mirrors or something. It was leaning up against. So when I fell, I ended up falling down on the pictures. I ended up scraping my leg or scratching my leg up real bad. And well, the first time he actually pushed me. So remember, I told you he was a struggling artist, rapper. When the first time he pushed me, he had like a little keyboard or something in the corner. And first time he knocked over the keyboard, and it was bad. I may still have pictures of those too, like the aftermath after he had pushed me or whatever and knocked over all that stuff. So actually, after I finally left the relationship, I actually got a tattoo where that mark was. I'm gonna post that picture too, to cover it up, because I just didn't want to think about that no more. And I don't even know if the scar, it probably wasn't even going to be permanent, but it was there and I didn't want to see it no more. So I got a tattoo over it. Alright, that was I would say that was the biggest fight that we had. Now, that wasn't the only fight that we had, but it was the biggest. When I finally left that relationship, that's when I was like, you know what? I done been through too much. I'm straight. I'm good. Don't worry about it. I don't want no more, and that's when I ended up meeting Dennis the Menace. The first time I really got into a fight, it was after we had my baby. My baby, not our baby, my baby. He wasn't working, right? So this is my first child. I don't know what to do. Not only that, but my whole goal was, because my last month I was actually working from home at the time. So my goal at the time was to work from home after I had her, and not put her in daycare, because I was just scared. Cause I think, matter of fact, right at the time I had her, I just saw a whole bunch of child abuse videos of babysitters abusing kids and stuff, and I'm just like, oh my God, if that ever happened to my child, like woo, baby, what? So I would just be so scared. And with him not working and paroled to my house, then he can work. He can watch the baby, right? No, wrong. Let me tell y'all, this little boy was horrible. He would pick a fight with me every morning, because I had to wake him up so he can be up, make sure he up, whatever. I left so that, because I actually don't know if the baby would be up or not, but, telling him to get up, because the baby, whatever. But I want to say every other day, he argued with me on the way to work. I'm going to leave this baby here. Just being abusive and just manipulative, just stressful. I'm going to leave her here. You better turn around and come back. Stuff like that. And I'm like, I believe one time I actually did turn around. I thought he really was going to leave my baby at home. Y'all, it was bad. It was real bad. I actually thought that man was gonna leave my baby home, and at that time I said, okay, I can't keep dealing with this. Shout out to my friend, one of my good friends. She found me a babysitter for my baby, a home babysitter. She did her hair. She said she would trust her around her child. At that time, I didn't have no choice. I had to figure something out because I had to go to work, and he didn't care. He didn't have no decorum. He didn't give a damn. He didn't care. That's one thing about them. They don't care. They only care about themselves. So I finally found somebody to keep my baby for me. Leave me alone. Don't even worry about me. I found someone to keep my baby for me. Fast forward. I'm just gonna give y'all like a lot of the big points. All right. So the first fight. First time we ended up getting into it, well, like a really big time fight where I actually called the police on him and all that, whatever. He ended up choking me some kind of way. We was arguing, I want to say like, I can't remember when, but we were arguing and he ended up choking me. I ended up calling, somehow I ended up calling the police, but he ended up leaving before I got to call the police. And, it was bad. So I called the police. I do my report because remember I told y'all my best friend is like a domestic violence advocate. So she told me, she was like, Tiffany, you need to first and foremost start your paper trail. Anything happen, you want to have a paper trail of what he's doing and all that, whatever. Call the police. Do what you got to do. Create that paper trail. I was like, okay. So I call the police. I do the report. I go to work. I come home, and I want to say this is like maybe a couple weeks later. I come home. No, actually, because he was still in my house at the time. He sent me a picture of a letter that was on my door. What y'all think that letter was? It was the people came knocking on my door. The C to the S to the P. I mean, the C to the P to the S, my bad. The C to the P to the S. Left the note on my door. I'm on my way to work. I believe they came maybe right after I left or something. Or, somehow, some way he ended up seeing the letter and sending me the letter. Sending me a picture. I'm on my way to work. I see the letter. Y'all almost wrecked because I was like, what? Child Protective Services? For me? Girl, lost it. Lost it. I told my friends, I told my mama, my sister, I was telling everybody because I could not believe it. CPS for me? And my baby, she wasn't even, I don't even believe she was 2 months yet. I don't even believe my baby had her shots yet, y'all. So, I'm devastated. I don't even know. That's probably the day I actually been home. I don't know, but I couldn't even focus because all I thought about was them taking my baby immediately. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I ain't never, they never been in my life. My mama took real good care, of me and my brother. And she, she did the best that she could. And CPS ain't never came to talk to us, you know what I'm saying? So, I immediately felt like a horrible, horrible mom. I felt like the worst mom on the planet. Like, seriously, because I could not believe this was happening to me. And it was hard. Like, it was really hard on me, especially as a mother. Like I said, I felt like I failed my baby, and she ain't even been in 6 months yet. Like, how is the CPS getting involved in my life, y'all? And this is actually embarrassing. A lot of people don't even know this, but I'm only telling this because I want to help somebody else. If you have kids with this man, I'm telling you, this ain't the way to go. It ain't, y'all. It ain't. He not worth your kids. Never. Nobody. I had CPS in my life, but guess what? I promise one thing for certain, two things for sure. what I ain't have stepping out is this motherhood, honey. Cause what we ain't gonna do is say, I don't take care of my child. Cause baby, please believe me, I do. When I do anything and everything I can for her. And I had to, it took me a minute to have to accept the reality that happened, you know? And it happens to good moms too, okay? Throw it in my face. I don't care. It happened. But guess what? There ain't nobody else coming back around here, especially them. Because who take care of their child is me, okay? So, at this, but look, I wouldn't feel like this at the time. What? I was, y'all, ugly crying. Because all I could think about was them taking my baby from me. My little baby. My little bitty old baby. She just started smiling. So when they start smiling, y'all, with 2 months, 3 months, she just started smiling at me and stuff. And so I was like, okay. I knew then, I said, okay, this ain't going to work. I got to get him out my house, right? Well, we ended up getting into it again. No, so CPS come, they do their thing, they come and check your refrigerator, check where you, and thank goodness, you know, like I said, I had that one bedroom with the study, and my baby, she had her own little room, you know, it was a little study, but it was a little, you know, it had her little sleeping area in there, you know, and I had to put my clothes on. Look, I had a little study for her, so she had her own little space, you know. They checked my refrigerator, and I want to say, like, she came out and she visited a couple more times. And, you know, I think she even asked, like, you know, how were things with me and the dad? And I was like, you know, we have our distance. I don't fool with him, blah, 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 blah. And then eventually they ended up closing the case. Oh, thank God, right? Now, again, like I said, you know, now let me go back. He actually wasn't paroled to my house at the time. He wasn't living with me at the time. But he was just a menace, period. So they ended up closing the case. Well, now I know that the reason why CPS got involved the first time is because they don't play that violence in the home. There should be no violence in the home. I didn't know that, you know what I'm saying? But and I get it. There shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? And so, but in order for me to get a protective order, I have to have a paper trail. Like, I can't just be like, hey, I fear for my life, I need a protective order, give it to me. I have to actually have like a whole paper trail because of whatever. I really don't think we should need that. I think if I should be able to be like, hey, I fear for my life, this is what happened, give me a protective order, it should happen, but who am I? Okay. So we ended up getting into it again. This time, but for real though, for real, my baby was asleep. It was early in the morning. We ended up fighting. I called the police, and they came out. And they came out. But long story short, they asked me, was my baby there? I said, yeah, but she was asleep, which she really was. But I'm thinking, like, you know, with her being asleep, they gonna let this slide because I already know that, oh my God, it's gonna be, these people gonna come back again. What happened, y'all? What you think happened? Yes, when people came knocking again at that old door. So now I'm like, man, like, Tiffany, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, get it together. You know, but it was so hard because when you got somebody like that don't care, like, really don't care, like, he didn't care about no police or none of that. He would tell you that I don't care about no police. Like, he just didn't. You know, he would harass me so bad. You know, and I just never knew how to get him to stop. But I figured it out, and I'm going to tell y'all in this video how to get them to stop. Well, they came again. This time, I got to take classes. She told me that he cannot be at my house anymore. You know, and then if they end up coming back again, baby girl gone. Say less. That's all I need to hear. I should have, it's a lot, okay? Like, when I tell you it was hard, okay? So, I ended up doing what I had to do. I took the class. But at this time, this is when he paroled in my house. And I'm like, you're not even supposed to be in my house. Like, what is this? Like, are you serious? Like, how do you, for real, you know? So now I'm like, oh my God, if they find that he at my house, they will come get my baby. And so now he in my house, can't leave. If something go down, if I call the laws, I'm doomed. So it was a catch-22, y'all. So this is what made it so hard for me to just be like, to just be able to just leave. You know, it just wasn't that easy. So I do the classes. They end up closing my case again, thank goodness. But now I'm laser focused. I gotta get him out of my house. And I gotta, like, this ain't gonna work because no, like, they could take my child, you know what I'm saying? I know he's not gonna ever stop. You know, he don't even see nothing wrong with him. It's not him, it's y'all. It's everybody. It's you, it's you, it's you, it's you. It's not him, it's y'all to piss him off. And what's crazy, I had asked him, because at the time he was living with his cousin. I said, you know, because he was saying, you know, stop pissing me off. That's the reason why he would put his hands on me and we'll fight. Stop pissing me off. I said, why you don't, let me see. Let me make up his cousin name. We'll call his cousin, Speedy. I don't know where the name came from, but we're going to call him Speedy. I was like, why you don't never fight Speedy? He was like, because I made a promise that I will never fight him again. You made that promise to me. That's another thing. You know, when you going through this, I promise I will never do it again. They love to say that. I will never do it again, you know. I mean, you made that promise to me. But as soon as I pissed you off, you wants to get mad and put your hands on me, right? Alright, so now this part of the story is kind of funny. Alright. So we ended up getting into it. My mama, like I said, my baby was real little. My mama, my grandma, my auntie, my little cousin ended up coming down here, right? My mama and my grandma and them, my mama and my sister my mama and my auntie had a room together. Then my grandma had a room to her by herself. Why I'm telling you that, that's really big. Okay. So they end up staying in a hotel, but they end up keeping the baby. And my little cousin comes stay with me. But right before they got up there, Dennis took my phone. My other phone, I had an iPhone at the time. He took my other iPhone. And he's supposed to give me some money for a daycare for my baby. And so my cousin ended up coming up here, and we was going to get some food. And so my cousin gets on the phone, and she was like, "What's cracking?" She was like, "What's cracking?" He was like, "You gang banging?" He was like, "You gang banging?" She was like, "Yup." I don't know, cause I'm Angel. I don't know nothing about that life. I don't know nothing about no street life, none of that. I'm Angel, okay? He was like, "You gang banging?" She was like, "Yup." She was like, "Bring my cousin money on her phone to her house right now." Hung up the phone. He pulls up. Now, let me go back. I'm 5'3", he 5'3". My cousin, Jean, how tall are you? My cousin, like 5'11", 6 foot, something. She tall. Very, very tall. He come over there. He got my phone and the money. Oh, well, I need to call her every time to get what I need from you. What's going on? I mean, I had told her, because even before that, we had fought like that night before, and I had told her about it, and she was like, "I want him to fight me." She was like, "Fight me. I want her to fight me." And so he get there. My cousin, she's standing up in the living room. She tall. She looking at both of us like this. Because look, we both short look. He walk in, so she mugged him, you know. He walked past her. And then when he's about to leave, she was like, put your hands on me like you put your hands on my cousin. This ain't got nothing to do with you. You know, he talking. All this gang know it talking. But he ain't doing none of the stuff he was doing to me. But because we both look eye to eye. We see eye to eye at each other. He wasn't doing none of that to her, right? Because she bigger than him. Taller than him. So he was like, he on the phone. Be here when I get back. She said, I'll be here. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, long story short, she was 25 at the time. I don't know how old she is now, but she punked my baby daddy. So, and then her brother was like, he wanted something. So he was what, like, hey, fam, you know what I'm saying? Get the protective order. Girl, he was so, anyway, he was like, get the protective order. So, whatever. And I was going to do that anyway, but whatever. So, time go on. My sister and my cousin ended up moving to Texas. Now I got family live here now, boy. Wait. Put your hands on me now. Wait. But it's funny, because we used to get into it. Like, I used to call my sister all the time, whatever. And she, you know, so before she had moved up here, she was on the phone with me. I had on speaker. She was like, when I move up there, if me and my sister want to go out, we going to go out. You hear me? Like, you ain't going to stop none of that, da-da-da-da. When I get there, none of this going to be going on, blah, 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 right? So my family moved to town. Now, I got reinforcements now, right? So, they moved to Dallas right before my baby turned 1. And one night, me and him got into over a remote, y'all. Why? Because it's my TV. I watch what I want to watch. You don't like it? Get out. Bye. Get out my house. You don't like what I watch? Go find you a TV to find something that you want to watch. But not in my house. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm watching TV. He come in there trying to turn the TV like I'm not watching it. We into it about the remote. Long story short, yes, y'all know he got me in a chokehold like this, y'all. He got me in a chokehold like this. I ain't gonna lie. But I always defend myself. Now, he's a man, but we the same height. And I probably weigh a little bit more than him, but he was stronger than me. You know what I'm saying? He had me like this. I had a lighter in my hand. And the lighter, I said, whew. And I flicked it on and burned his arm. That made me more mad, though, y'all. So then he pushed me down to the ground. He put his thumb right here under my throat. I'll never forget this. I was on the ground. He pushed his thumb right here in my throat. And I was fighting. Trying to get him off of me. The next time I went limp. And then I think when I went limp, that's when he finally got up. But then I was like, oh my God. Like, whoo, like I got to get out of this because one of us going to end up each other for real, right? So now I got family up here. So I called my sister. He just told me. I'm crying because I can't believe this is happening, you know. Not to mention, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, he lost his sister due to domestic violence. She was taken out of this world by her baby daddy. His sister did when he was in jail. This happened right before this happened, right? All I could think about was like, oh my God, he trying to take me out. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got misplaced anger. You know, something, you know. So, I called my sister. My sister's like, maybe 40 minutes away from me. My cousin is like 15, 18 minutes. No more than 20. My sister's like, I'm gonna call my cousin. I don't think I want to put her name near. So, we'll get her name. My cousin, we're gonna get her name. Her name gonna be Stacy. So, oh, girl, I ain't mean to do that. So my sister called Stacy, whatever, and Stacy is with her husband, and so they pull up because they can get here faster. I'm outside because I'm devastated. I'm just like, I can't even go back in the house because it's just a mess. It's a mess. So they pull up, and I'm crying. I'm just devastated, and I'm telling them what happened. I was telling them how they choked me, and then Stacy's husband was like, I want him to choke me. So he walks in, oh, you choking my cousin? Like, and my baby daddy, he on the phone, he got his one hand in the pocket. And so they going back and forth. And my cousin was like, get the baby, come on, let's go. Please hurry up, because I can't keep him under control. Like, hurry up. He got a piece of steel. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. He got that, right? So he about to pull it out. I'm like, oh. So I grabbed my baby. It was crazy. This was a Sunday night because I just washed her hair. I grabbed my baby. She's sleeping through all of this. I grabbed my baby, And then we ended up leaving. I ended up going over to my cousin's house. Next day, because I was working from home at the time. Next day, he was there, whatever. But I'm like, now I'm getting my people involved. Like, it could have been, you know what I'm saying, a homicide. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I gotta fix this, right? So time go on. Okay, so then I'm gonna fast forward. The last incident when the weapon was involved, we were into it. I don't remember what we were arguing about. But at that time, I was like, when we start arguing, I'm just gonna get up and walk away. We was in the living room, me, him, and my baby. We was in the living room, and he got to arguing. I get up and go to my room. When I go to my room, he followed me, and he got the baby in his arms. Next thing I know, he got a knife in his arm. In his hand. And I know I felt something, sharp. He was scraping it on my leg. I was like, oh my God, you had a knife? Like, why you had a knife? Like, I'm not even doing nothing to you, whatever. And he was like, shut up. And he like pushed it into my stomach. Scraped my stomach. I got a picture of that. Scraped my stomach. I had a hole in my shirt and everything. That was the time I said, he gotta go. But even though I've always felt like that, but I would kind of like talk myself out of it. Like, because the main thing was I was scared that these people was going to take my child if they knew he was there. And the only way they was going to know he was there if I called the police. And if I called the police, then what? You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I got to get him out. I was so desperate, y'all. I did not know what to do. I had no idea what to do. So, but at the time I said, so again, I said babysitter, but my baby went to a home daycare or whatever. And she was a babysitter basically because she wasn't licensed or anything like that. But so that's why I say babysitter. I bet that probably was confused when y'all say I picked up my baby from babysitter and then dropped her to my sister. But she kept my baby while I worked on that Friday. So, but she knew bits and pieces or whatever. And I told her, I was like, I'm scared to call the police because if I call the police and say he there, then they can take my baby. She was like, put him out. Or whatever. She was like, and if you come back, that's what she told me. She was like, just call and be like, hey, I don't know who's at my door, da 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 da. So it wouldn't seem like, whatever. Kind of treat the sister a little bit because we needed to get out of this situation. So, again, so after that happened, that's when I laid in my bed. I could not sleep, y'all, for 5 days. Like, I probably got maybe an hour or two of sleep a night. But that was all because I just kept thinking, because in my mind, I was like, even on my baby, she was a little over 1. I was like, I don't want my baby to see him get locked up. I don't want my baby to see him go away. Just listen, don't listen. If you are going through the situation and you're watching right now, it's okay. You would rather for your child to see him get locked up than you be laying in a coffin, okay? That's just what that is, right? Or you being behind bars and him in a coffin, okay? So, it took me a minute to come to the realization, but after that, I didn't care. Like, I had made in my mind, so I just put my baby in the bed early, I'm gonna call the police, and then they come and lock him up. That's cool, because again, I got a protective order. He not supposed to be there. He got to serve. He didn't come to court, none of that, whatever. He knew that the protective order was there, all of that. So he really wasn't supposed to be there. All right. So now I told him, you will never ever. And since then, I moved, and I moved again. He did not know where we stay. Would never know where we stay ever. And I told him, I said, you will never ever step foot in anything that I own or live in ever. Okay? Because he is a menace to society. I swear to you. So, after he moved out, I had people in my ear like, please just make sure that he's still involved in her life. Don't punish her by da 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 da. So, now, remember I was telling you about the harass, how to get them to stop. Ignore them. They would get tired of texting themselves. You didn't gotta block them. I was blocking them every now and then, but as long as he was texting about I want my family back, let's get back together, all of that, it wasn't no leave me alone, stop it wasn't none of that. I was ignoring him. I would just ignore him, until he'd be like, what my baby doing? She sleep, or she doing this, she doing that. Can I talk to you? Da 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 da. Ignore. They get tired, right? So time go on, and he was like, can I see my baby? I'm like, okay. So he was at his grandma's house. Long story short, so he always would try to belittle me, try to make me feel less than, because that's how he was, because he was less than. Remember, he 5'3". Okay. So he would try to, damper me or whatever, and I wouldn't let him, and it bothered him, ate him up one day. So I took my baby to go see him. McDonald's down the street. We went to McDonald's. And he said something about my lipstick. I can't remember what it was. And I said, I'm still fine. What I said that for? That's probably why I still said in there, and still is. What I said that for? He got mad because I said that. Got mad. And at this time, I was just when he got mad, I would just let him get mad. Let me let this little leprechaun go on, have his little feet somewhere else. We finna go, right? Wrong. Well, I go and we get to his grandma's house. Next thing I know, I'm quiet. I'm ignoring him, right? Because I'm just letting him argue. Get out of my car, right? He in my car. I'm driving. Next thing I know, he said, muffed me right in my mouth, busted my that. But then he gets out the car and holds down me and my baby in the car with a water hose. Oh, baby, it was bad. It was bad. After that, I somehow ended up outside the car. I tried to find a brick. I tried to find something to hit this little short motherfucker. He done pissed me the fuck off. How the fuck? You hose me and my child down? What the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? So it was bad. It was bad. And at that time, I said, you would never, ever be around me by yourself. None of that. So after that, I had implemented, it had to be an exchange or whatever. Like, we couldn't even be around each other because I was always by myself. I only had my defensive baby, my defenseless baby. She would cry. And I just couldn't keep doing my baby like that. You know what I'm saying? Beg and beg, bye. I kept ignoring him. And then eventually, the call stopped. Call slowed down, the text message stopped, I'm getting peace finally. So 85 South come to Dallas. I ended up going to the show. It was crazy. He actually wanted to take me allegedly, but I ended up going. So that weekend they came, he asked for my baby. He was asking for a minute. And at the time, what's crazy, I knew that he had found another victim, but I didn't know for sure, but the reason why I knew is because, like I said, he had stopped harassing me at nighttime, so he must have found somebody else to harass at night, right? So that weekend that he asked for my baby, I said, don't be bringing my baby around another woman without me knowing who it is. I want to meet her first, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't care about you moving on. Move on. Please, move on. I don't care about you moving on. But I want to know who's supposed to be around my baby, you know? So this is my one and only child, So he asked my baby the weekend of 85 South show. So I was like, yeah, you can get him. Free babysitter with a daddy. Come on, yeah, get that. You sure can. You can have it this weekend. So he ended up picking up my baby. Well, we ended up meeting up at a mutual friend house. He ended up picking my baby up from over there. And I saw he was in some car I never seen before. And there was a little girl in the back seat. I was like, who is that? My friend was like, don't worry about it. It's okay. I love you, baby. See you later. Bye. See you. Peace. So, my baby ended up leaving that Sunday, because the show was I don't know what time the show was, but he was like, I need to meet you at such and such. I said, I'm going to the show tonight. I'll see you when I get done. I'll see you when I get done, player. Pimp player. So he was blowing my phone up or whatever. And needless to say, what you gonna do? It ain't nothing you can do about it. You don't even know where we stay. It ain't nothing you can do about it. So he ended up. So we ended up picking up my baby. My mutual friend that he picked up. She met me there with her friend, and he ended up dropping the baby out. But he had a woman in the car with him. Who was this? You know what I'm saying? So I feel very disrespected, because why you ain't tell me you had my baby around another woman? I told you to let me know who it is. I don't care about you moving on. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And so, needless to say, how long this been going on? Because you were just begging for your family back 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So, not only that, but I get my baby back And if I got a picture, I'm going to insert it. I get my baby back, and she got a gash on her toe. And now, mind you, before this, she's been with him a couple of times by herself, never had no injuries at all. And now all of a sudden, she with you and this new woman, and now she got an injury. So I'm devastated because, like, what the hell with my baby? I feel like somebody done, you know, saying to mess with my baby or whatever. And so, whatever. You know, I just told him, you know, I think at the time, I was like, I don't want this, my baby around this lady. I don't even know who this is. Like, you know, what's going on? So, of course, after that, they make up, break up. Every time they break up, he come calling me, you know. He ended up asking for my baby again. This is around the winter time. He asked for my baby again. Long story short, I ended up dropping my baby off. And I had a feeling that I was going to go over there, but at the same time, at this time, I was talking to the guy that I'm dating now. And, you know, he basically was like, you know, for him in his situation, he couldn't really speak for my situation, but for him in his situation, he was like, you know, he can't control what go on with his daughter's mom in their house. You know, so he can only control what go on in his house. And that's just what it was. And that's how I felt too. You know what I'm saying? I can only control what happened on in my house. I can control what happened in their house, right? So all I can do is just hope and pray that he keep my baby safe, you know. Well, I just knew that they were going over there. I just knew it, but I just had to let my baby go, right? Allegedly. Well, I did. Okay. So I let my baby go. The very next day, he come calling me. I knew I should listen to you. Oh, what you talking about? Don't you know this girl almost pushed me and London down the stairs? Who? My baby? Yeah. Where you at? What's the address? I'm on my way. I need my child. What's going on here, right? Oh, yeah, I'm done now. I'm done. And then while I'm on the phone with him, he argued with her in the background because she driving around. He was like, no, I'm done now. This girl almost pushed me and my baby down the stairs. You know, and I'm thinking like, okay, you know, that's a good reason though to be done with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody put your child in harm's way, like that's really a good reason to be done with somebody. But not to mention, like, I know him. He's a homosexual. Like he cannot live by himself. I don't know. That's irrelevant. All right, so he's a homosexual. So, of course, she's providing him with a place to stay. So, he's going to fight for that place because he want to get out of his granny house. Mm-hmm. So, needless to say, he didn't even, at this time, I think that was his girlfriend, they ended up getting married. Because I was like, I don't want my baby around her. Like, she didn't care. So we ended up having a conversation, but at the end of that, she said she did push him, but he ended up putting his hands on her first, which I believe. And she was like, I told him that he shouldn't be doing this in front of his kids or in front of the kids, but my baby daddy don't care. Don't care. You know, he's a sociopath for real. Do not care about nobody but himself. So after that, so I didn't let my baby go around there for a minute. She didn't go around for a little minute. Then I don't know. It needs to say, I got out of the situation. They never changed. Well, I ain't gonna say they never changed, but a lot of the times, y'all, they think you're the issue. You are the problem. It's not them. It's not their anger and their temper. It's you. And you can't let that be the situation. You deserve happiness. When I say this, you deserve it. I'm going to put this number down here again. Because I might put it in the description box. The number is in the description box. Call this number. Find you some help within your area. And get out of the situation, okay? It's not what you want. It's really not what you want. I'm just so... I get devastated. I get heartbroken every time I see someone. And again, with me being, I'm not judging. My situation was tough. It was so hard. And a lot of people don't even know because, you're afraid of judgment. You're embarrassed, and it's a lot of things that goes on with you when you're going through this situation. And if you know someone going through this, please give them grace. Let them know that you are there. And if you can within the capacity, be there for them because it's hard, especially when you're going through it by yourself. because you feel like, oh, like I don't want to be a burden on someone else, or I'm bringing all this negative energy into people's lives and things like that. Try to be there for someone if they're going through this kind of situation, especially when they have kids. It's not that easy. Okay. So anyway, needless to say, it happened, and I always question, like, why did this happen to me? Like, why? And like, when I used to ask it to my friends, I'm like, because you can help somebody else do this. And I'm like, I don't want nobody, especially somebody I love, to go through this. You know what I mean? Especially to my birth. I really don't want her going through this. You know what I mean? But I'm sharing this story because it's a personal one. It's one that I've held very, very close to my chest because of judgment. And one thing I can say, because I you may see this post or have seen a post, where it's saying, like, you picked your baby daddy, blah, 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 blah. You picked the baby mama and single mom and all that kind of stuff. Well, whatever. My thing about that is, for me, a part of my healing process, and this is big for me, but especially as a Virgo, a part of my healing process was accepting accountability in my decision making. Okay? My decision making at the time, I knew I had no business laying with this man. Knowing I didn't never want a future with him. Knowing that he was not someone that I actually wanted to be with. I had no business even laying with this man. But everything happened for a reason. My daughter is here. She's amazing. The best thing that ever happened to this earth. That's my baby. And everything happened for a reason, and I'm grateful for her. You know what I'm saying? But that time that I went through, it was hard. It was hard to the point where even my baby, like, she didn't want him touching me. He couldn't hug me or nothing because he did so much around her. And even after that, like, I had a neighbor, after we moved, I had a neighbor that wanted to hug me. If my neighbor tried to hug me, she would cry or she would push me away because she didn't want nobody touching me, because she's seen so much. She's seen so much that her dad did to me. And that's not good. My mom even asked me, she said, have you ever seen a man disrespect me? I was like, no. She was like, don't let your daughter see that, I was like, you're right. And so, anyway, a part of the healing for me was accepting accountability, that I made some very poor decisions, and I made it through, and you can too. You can make it through too. Reach out to me. I do have a Facebook. You can reach out to my Facebook. I have all that in my description box. The Facebook, the TikTok. I even have an email there. Reach out to me. I will help you through this, for real. I will help you through this. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be just fine. You will be just fine. Reach out to me. Please just do whatever you can to get out of your situation for a better life for you and your kids, or just for you, period. Okay? They're not going to change. The only way they would change is if they actually actively working on themselves. They're getting a therapy. They're working on themselves and accepting that there is something messed up with them. And it ain't everybody else. It's them. You know what I mean? So, I'm about to end this video. It is now 9:37. I gotta take some pictures. I gotta get cute and finish getting cute. And yeah, so that was this video, y'all. Please, 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 if you made it to the end, please please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. Please, please, please do that for me. And I'm out of y'all. Oh, this is going to be my last time talking about Dennis the Menace. This is it. This is part 2. This is it. Okay? We're going to talk about nothing but good stuff now. Okay? So, I hope you enjoyed the story. Or I hope it helped someone. At least one person. If it did, comment down below. I don't care. Just comment down below. Okay? Thank you.